High Talk Web is back. What's going on, y'all? A lot going on in the college football world, man. Whew. Got to go ahead and bring up another school to bring you to around to my first point. More rumors are swirling around about Deboer leaving Alabama. It's all fluff. Like I said, it's Michigan. Unfortunately, they're going through a dumpster fire with Sharon Moore. Apparently, they had been investigating this for a while for improper conduct, unbecoming to the university and his job. He'd been having an affair. Apparently, this is all alleged. He'd been having an affair. He got her pregnant. He paid her hush money to have an abortion. He had gotten a personal assistant and promoted her multiple times and given her pay raises. And it's just a sad fact. You know, it happened with Mel Tucker. It happened with Bobby Petrino, and there's quite a few other guys that's happened to. Hugh Freeze was one of those. He was texting prostitutes on a cell phone, allegedly. So he got fired from Ole Miss, during that time, and some other pre-NIL stuff he was doing. But very sad situation for Sharon Moore and his wife and his 3 kids. I think he has 3 kids possibly. Very sad. I know everybody's reporting about this. I do feel bad for Michigan. They had a good season, 9-3. He was doing good things. He was recruiting well. So it's kind of a shock when he just got fired. And it wasn't because he had a 9-3 season. Some people are speculating that. I don't think that's true at all. It's this other things that, and the sad thing is, when you see situations like that, he had a great job. He lost his job, because he made some poor choices. The wife and children lose out on a dad. So that sucks. And this goes beyond football, right? The University of Michigan, they lose out too on a good coach and a program they had going. Potentially their kids could go portal. So they could lose out there again. Everybody loses in these situations. It's not just himself. It's a broader picture of people that lose out in this situation. And it's just sad, for the university, for him, for his wife and kids, for, this other young lady who was involved in this. It's going to probably ruin her life to a certain extent. And I'm old school, man. If I was a college coach, which I'm not, but if I was and I got a personal assistant, it's going to be a big fat dude. A big fat dude. I'm just kidding. No, I would definitely put buffers there if I got an assistant, because that's one thing. You want to keep everything at home together and not have any temptation, and it's hard like that. And then, like I said, we've seen it multiple times. We've seen Mel Tucker, we've seen Bobby Petrino, we've seen Hugh Freeze, and there's probably more guys I'm forgetting right now that are in that category. And you look at it, it got Aaron McNair killed. So it's a sad thing, and it's a sad day for college football in general. I'm coming back to my point to Bama. Apparently, I would assume it's kind of being reported that their number one candidate is Kalen Deboer. Like I said, and I don't think he would jump ship for that job. I just don't see it. Now, years ago, he had been kind of lobbying for that job. Then he got the Alabama job, and that was kind of over, and they hired Sharon Moore. But at one time, he was lobbying for that job, but I don't think he would leave Alabama, considering he's had 2 top 5 recruiting classes. He's done well in the portal. He's gotten to the playoff once out of 2 times, almost got there twice. I don't see it. It doesn't. That move doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Yes, they've got money and all that. His buyout's not big, but I just don't see that coming in the pipe for him. Even Chris Lowe, who we all trust in college football and in these sports circles, even he said, no, I'm not buying it. I think they'll reach out. Not buying that. Some more likely candidates that have been popping up. You've got Lincoln Riley at USC, Brian Kelly. He's unemployed. He was a 10-2 coach, man. So he was that guy. He's that steady Eddie guy. He's a Midwestern guy. I think he's probably the most perfect fit you could get. You've got Jesse Mentor, the DC at the Chargers. Eli Derkowitz at Mizzou, even though he signed a 6-year deal. You can always buy him out if you really want him that bad. Jed Fish at Washington. Clark Lee at Vandy. He signed a 6-year deal. I don't see him leaving or Derkowitz leaving, honestly. A dark horse, and a lot of guys have made a very compelling argument about this guy at ASU and Kenny Dillingham. He has been a portal king, kind of like LSU did in the past. Or, sorry, not LSU. Lane Kiffin did in the past with, Ole Miss. He's done that with ASU. He's got some good things going. Made the playoffs last year. Did some great things. Almost beat Texas. So that's a good candidate for him. And I think it would be a money play too. You could get him for less money and then build in big incentives. If he does this, 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 and this, I think that would be really good. Like I said, so you have all that. Other rumors swirling around, a lot of people talking, I guess it's slow news day, that Ty Simpson has some type of injury. Now, is he banged up? No doubt. No, I think that whole team is banged up. I definitely think he's pretty banged up. There was kind of some rumors swirling around out there that maybe he's got a lower lumbar back injury, or, he maybe had like a slight concussion, but mainly the back injury. I'm not buying it. I don't see it. With that, let's go into conspiracy theories here. Anybody conspiracy theory out there, you may like this one. If he does have that injury and he's being smart, Deboer is just not telling anybody about it, and he could do one of two things. He could march out Mac. He could march out, the other quarterbacks we have, and especially, like I said, and he could pull a switch and because you have no film on those guys. Keelan Russell, sorry, I was forgetting his name for a minute. He could march him out. More than likely, I don't think that's the case. I think we kind of know if he was banged up. Now, if he's playing it close to the vest, he could do that and come out there and bring Keelan Russell or Austin Mack right out there, and they'd be like, oh, we've never seen footage on these guys. Oh, no. Which would be a great thing. Or he could pull a Saban vis-a-vis, I think, the 2018 national championship, or 2017 anyway. January of 18 it was played. And if it's not going great at halftime and there's just no momentum and we're just not doing it, he could pull one of those quarterbacks and win the game. He could try that. I don't think anybody would give him grief for trying that. And say that quarterback, if he does this conspiracy idea, throws it out there and they win big or just win, go into the next game, play great, there could be a quarterback controversy going into the spring, and you have an open quarterback room. You have an open competition. So that would be kind of cool. Don't know if that'll happen, but a little fun conspiracy theory. Another thing a lot of people have been talking about is the declining offensive numbers for Bama. I'm going to say it, and I don't care. This is just my opinion. It all is starting one in that daggone offensive line. Offensive line's been bad really for 4 years, very bad for 2 years. I think Tommy Rees, Saban's last OC, really disguised it and did a very, very good job of that. Like I said, I do think that there's something else. And my dad mentioned this point, and I really considered it. And another fellow Bama fan mentioned this, Satch, and Josh Hardy as well, my buddy that played at Bama. He mentioned this. He said, I feel like his offensive numbers have slidden when he was getting grief and he decided to leave the booth and come to the field, because it was a whole, you can't get plays in fast enough. Ty Simpson's having to blow timeouts, and the play calling and getting the play out there is like watching, a sloth just try to, crawl across the floor. But I kind of agree with that. I would rather him be in the booth where he can see the defense. He can see things coming. He can see this tricks. He can see this and see that. It's just like he's in a film room. He can see that and then just get quicker with calling the play in. And his numbers were better. I don't have the exact numbers. I'll probably look that up over tomorrow and the next day and do a video on it. But his numbers were really, really good. I thought way better than they have been. And I really wouldn't be shocked in the bowl game if he's sitting up in the booth. And I hope he does. I really hope he's in the booth, because I think he analyzes things so much faster and he sees the picture so much better, and he sees the whole puzzle when he's in that daggone booth. So hopefully that happens. We'll see. I don't know. That's something kind of neat to consider going into it. Cool injury news. I think this is kind of big for us because we have really been handicapped not having some of these gentlemen on the field with us. I think they said Zabin Brown, Justin Jefferson will be back for the bowl game. Jam Miller should be back, which is great. Awesome. Love that kid. Josh Cuevas right now is tight end 70%. He is an unsung hero, I think, this Bama team, for what he can do on third down, fourth down, catching ability, run after play. Very underrated in my opinion. LT Overton and Kelby Collins are unknown. I would love to have them back, but we don't know the situation there. On the O-line, we think Cam Dewberry, Geno Vandermark, and Brailsford will be healthy. That'll be huge for us. going into this bowl game with Oklahoma. They got a great defense, so we're going to need all hands on deck, especially going down to Norman. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, also the last rumor we've been hearing is, well, Deboer's on the hot seat. If he goes to Norman and he takes a dump and loses the game, stop. No, Deboer is not on the hot seat. Regardless if he loses that game, he's not on the hot seat. Everybody knows we're banged up. Everybody knows we're hurt. We're happy just to be there, like all the other teams in the playoff. I don't think he's on the hot seat at all. He's recruiting top 5. Nope. Like I said, we got to maybe switch some guys out, like that offensive line coach. We need a new offensive line coach. Don't see him being fired. Now, if I'm throwing my 2 cents in, which nobody's going to pay attention on that staff, what I would do is get a bag of money from the boosters and I'd go hire Jeff Stoutland out of the NFL. But that's just me. Anyway, that's all I got for today. Hopefully I'll have another video tomorrow or Saturday. Anyway, love you guys. Y'all be good. Ty Talk Web is out.